So, first thing I want to say is big up Jah, God, my Lord, my Savior. I'm thankful for life. I'm thankful for the opportunity to be able to do any sort of like work. Thankful for my family. Thankful for the people that are around me and care about me and love me. I'm from Brooklyn, East New York. Yeah, that's a simple question. My family's Jamaican. I usually never forget to say that, actually, underneath this shirt. These colors right here, Rastafari, originates in Jamaica. You got the green, yellow, and red, standing for love, peace, and unity, and you'll see this on my album cover. I write with the intention of writing for myself most of the time. I don't really write for audiences that are hearing it. Sometimes I am with that in mind, but I'm very conscious in what I'm trying to like express. I'm not into the idea of like rapping without like displaying like a certain kind of like skill that can come with being like a wordsmith. You know, just a person who's like really comfortable with like flexing words and syllables and sounds. I do it as a way of like trying to find my own space in a place. I started to write as a way of crying. My grandma passed away on December 19th of 2009. It was from breast cancer. And essentially when she died, she didn't cry when she died, but she died. And when she did, I couldn't find a way of like physically expressing myself immediately. I guess I was like in a sort of shock. It took me about 8 months, I would say, before I figured out a way to express myself. And basically it came in the form of me doing a short film on iMovie. I was at this Apple camp. It was a free program, you know, keeping busy. I was like maybe 11 to 12, I don't remember. And I had seen this film so many times, and I got in front of like a crowd of people, a bunch of people I don't know. They were all white. And I remember specifically before my presentation, there was a presentation, and it was video. They're all video presentations with iMovie, and it was like about Lego Batman. And then my presentation was like something a bit more serious. It was about work, as like hard work and where it can get you. And it was dedicated to my grandma. And you know, got in front of the crowd, and I started choking up after seeing that film so many times, and started letting it out, and I cried. And I also started writing shortly prior to that. So I use it as a form of crying. I haven't cried since my grandma died. And but I've been crying through the writing, through the work that I'm putting. I always thought about music as like a sort of intellectual like writing or like piece, or even poetry. I have another quote from Glissant I would like to share with you guys. I'll probably share it with you later to end this short film. But for me, like, I've learned a lot through rap. I've learned a lot about different things. I think different artists have like shown me like how you could not only like express something, get something off your chest, but how you could like learn from what's being expressed. Or like there's like certain morals in certain stories. And in the writing, it's like a healing process for like, most of the time the writer, or like questions that the writer's trying to answer through this song, through his rhyme scheme, through his like different entendres. He's trying to solve this thing he's trying to get at, or hit him, her, they. Oftentimes and not, I'd like to believe that the writer has solved something, at the end of the song, but sometimes it's not about like solving anything. Sometimes it's about being in that moment and enjoying like what the world has to offer and what it has offered you so far, and how to get it off in a way that's, I mean, also financially it can like stabilize your life, but to get it off in a way that like you see fit. Writers, rappers, intellectuals write for different reasons. Most of them, you know, have to figure out a way to find economic stability in like their fields. But I'd like to believe like some of the writers that I know that do write, you know, they write because they have to. And I mean, I think it's the same thing for me. I have to express certain things that are going on. We'll see, people think things come like that, but you really got to give things time. And I think there's a lot of quality in time. So try not to waste the time, or else you're gonna miss out on some quality, honestly. It's about blackness. It's about like me showing like different flavors. Going back to like my name. Oh, I don't even know if I told you my alias. So my name's Gus Aronson, as most of my professors know me as, and students. But I do my music under a different stage name, Marinate, and it has to do with like this idea of bringing flavor to the track, bringing different kind of flavors. So yeah, take whatever you want to take away from it, but enjoy the flavors and enjoy the food for thought. There's a lot of privilege with carrying a degree. What is the black oiler? The extraction of oil, like the extraction of places. I think about like the idea of like oil and how it's used in different black communities, the importance of it. I grew up with a lot of oil around me, whether it been for cooking or for like the anointing of like my body. Spiritual reasons, religious practices. I used to anoint, I still do anoint my head. Olive oil, I use it in my hair. There's jojoba oil. My mom still does mix different kinds of oils, make different concoctions for her natural hair, her natural beauty, her skin, my skin. My pops taught me the importance of oil at a young age without necessarily verbally letting it be known. Think about oil in the way it's talked about biblically as well, and how you anoint yourself as you recite certain scriptures, and it's used as like protection, or like it's really symbolic for a form of protection. Yeah, I think about, and going back to like the oil and the extracting out of the continent of Africa and the placement of oil, or like placement of people. And I think about black body and the black body and how it's been so durable to the different kinds of like things that have hit it. And like just like oil and how like, or liquids, right, in general, how they take the shape of whatever it needs to take the shape of in that moment. Think about just how black body has just been so strong and durable in the way that it's taken the shape of taking the mold of whatever you need to do in the moment. And that could be like code switching, which I'm probably doing right now, because it's not how I talk to my friends, but you know, or just like being in a space and know that you have to like conduct yourself in a way that the people around you are going to see as appropriate. And that's like double consciousness. It's like something I'm talking about in my project. I refer to Du Bois for that. But yeah, like this constant surveillance of blackness that causes you to have to conform in a certain moment, but yet still so strong and so resilient. Black people are still like just the forefront of what seems to be like culture. And when I say black people, I'm really referring to people of color. Not anti-white, but not white. I'm not talking about white people. Yeah, I'm talking about like people who've had to conform in many different ways because of like their specific identity of blackness. And when I think about blackness, it's just like, I don't say if you're black, you know you're black, but like the idea of things not being black enough, or you act white, or you act this or that. I think we take away from the fact that like we've trained ourselves to learn how to act in certain ways to conform to whatever setting we're in. I think about myself in college, constantly having to just really reflect on what I'm about to do before I do it, because I know actions, the way they may be perceived in one place may not be perceived in the same. And when I say one place, I'm talking about home, where I'm from, Jamaica. I think about Brooklyn. They may be perceived differently here than here at Bard, or here in other white spaces that I find myself in. I'm at a PWI, a primarily white institution, private white institution, but also primarily white. So yeah, I had to learn about this violence of like the extraction of oil, and I also have to appreciate the beauty in blackness and it persevering through these different things, and our reclaiming of like our own oil, and the reclaiming of ourselves, and the dancing, the music, the food we make, you know, the way we take care of ourselves, the way we present ourselves, the love, the oil that is our melanin, you know, like there's a lot of love involved as well, as I try to think about this idea of black oiler. But if I had to put this in one sentence, I think a black oiler is a writer or a expressor. Don't know if that's a word, but I'm gonna make it a word. An expressor of blackness, like, because I think you don't only write to express your blackness. You sing, you dance, you cook. Some of these things I've named before, you take care of yourself, you live. Yeah, and there's a lot of strength in that, and I want to recognize that. And I also want to recognize the different identities of it. And talking about my album, some of the people who helped me make it, a lot of black people, a lot of people of color. Yeah, shout out to Naya, shout out to Jalil singing on the song, the title track, which is Black Oiler. And sometimes my writing or like the raps come together as like, they're like different puzzle pieces. So sometimes I'm writing raps, I'm writing straight through, like verses and choruses. And then there are other times where there's this idea from this thing I was thinking about, oh, this relates to this thing I was thinking about today, you know, and then I like put it together. And I'm like, wow, it's beautiful. And then I expand, and they inspire different moments. And oftentimes not, I'm like talking to myself. I'm talking about what I hope to improve on, or I would love to improve or see something better in, or just I'm appreciating something in the moment. Oftentimes not. This is why we stay with poetry, and despite our consenting to all the indisputable technologies, despite seeing the political leap that must be managed, the horror of hunger and ignorance, torture and massacre to be conquered, the full load of knowledge to be tamed, the weight of every piece of machinery that we shall finally control, and the exhausting flashes as we pass from one era to another, from forest to city, from story to computer. At the bow, there's something we now share. At the bow, there's something we now share. This murmur, cloud or rain or peaceful smoke, we know ourselves as part and as crowd in an unknown that does not terrify. We cry our poetry. We cry our cry of poetry. Our boats are open and we sail them for everyone. That relates to also Christina Sharp, The Wake, which is like this triple entendre. But yeah, this idea of like our boats are open and we sail them for everyone. We cry our cry of poetry. As this passage right here is like one of the reasons why like I really went through with this album. This idea of poetry, this idea of my rap, my music, my writing being important, my own experience, and using rap intellectually. I hope it comes across in that way. Using these different mediums, the short film, the gallery, the performance. Take away from it what you will. Thank you for coming. And I hope beyond this performance that our paths cross in the future again. And be blessed. Love.